You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired on the 3rd of January, 1927.
Aunt Sammy's chat today is full of sunshine. She comes right out and tells all about the sun and ultraviolet rays, those important rays which won't shine through ordinary window glass. The second half of the program is devoted to a popular and versatile fruit, which can be used in a variety of ways. Before she leaves, Aunt Sammy will broadcast a recipe for, well, I'll let her tell it. The recipe will be included in the radio cookbooks, which are sent free from your local radio station.
Here is a question I have been expecting ever since I talked to you about the importance of sunshine and cod liver oil. I believe I told you that the ultraviolet rays of the sun will prevent rickets in young children. These important rays also have a curative effect on tuberculosis. The question I referred to is this: what is meant by the ultraviolet rays of the sun? The ultraviolet ray is simply a part of the sunlight. If you cast sunlight through a prism, you will separate the sunlight out into its colors, or its spectrum. You will see violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red rays. Ultra means beyond. Ultraviolet rays are the rays beyond the violet. They seem to be necessary to the health of men and other animals. The growth of children and of young livestock is greatly hindered if they do not get these ultraviolet rays. Now, violet rays will pass through ordinary window glass. Ultraviolet rays will not. The glass strains them out. So you see, we don't get all of the sunlight when we sit in front of ordinary window glass. I also told you the other day that scientists are working on a substitute for window glass that will admit these important ultraviolet rays. In fact, there is a glass which admits ultraviolet rays, but it costs around $35 for a pane 5 by 8 inches. We couldn't afford many windows at this price. There is a substitute for sunlight which you may have heard about. Dr. Hughes, a scientist at the Kansas State Agricultural College, experimented with young chickens and found that the light from a mercury arc lamp has the same beneficial effect on chicks that sunlight has. He tried raising the chicks without sunlight and found they wouldn't grow. He tried raising them in the dark and they wouldn't grow. But he raised the chicks successfully when he gave them rays of light from a mercury arc lamp for only 5 minutes a day. The light from an ordinary electric arc lamp is rich in ultraviolet rays and is comparatively cheap. Those of us who can get plenty of direct sunshine for our children and for ourselves need not worry about arc lamps and expensive window panes. But we sometimes do forget to make the most of this health-giving sunshine. Many days children are allowed to play indoors when they should be out, where the sun's rays can strike their handstand cheeks directly. This is of greatest importance in winter, when Old Soul doesn't show himself so much as he does in summer, nor beam on us with the same intensity. It may seem too good to be true, but even this brief frequent sunnings will help to prevent children from developing bow legs, knock knees, pigeon breast, and other signs of rickets. Lack of sunshine may have bad effects on grown persons too, especially the people who must work indoors and do not eat plenty of fresh fruits, vegetables, and other foods that might be classed as stored up sunshine because of the vitamins they contain. I want to repeat what I said before, that direct sunshine and vitamin D are necessary to normal health, and particularly important in the case of children. The ultraviolet rays in the sunshine and vitamin D both have a curative effect on rickets and tuberculosis. Get all the sunshine you can. Eat foods rich in vitamins, fruits, whole cereals, vegetables, and dairy products. Most green foods are particularly good. And if you do not get enough ultraviolet light, there's cod liver oil to fall back on. Cod liver oil is so rich in vitamin J that it is almost a substitute for ultraviolet rays. Consult your doctor about the proper dose of oil Take it before meals, when you're hungry, and follow it with a little orange juice to take away the fishy taste. Vitamins are a fascinating subject. Nobody knows much about them. We do know they are essential to normal health. Vitamins cannot be bought in bottles. They aren't done up in packages just and sold at the corner drugstore. The source of vitamins is no secret. I heard a food specialist say the other day that milk, vegetables, fruits, and direct sunlight will give one a better balanced allowance of vitamins than any special cure-all on the market. So there we are, and it looks as though we might supply our own vitamins. Well, one can't be talking about vitamins forever. I must be getting on. Second question, can you say anything good about prunes? Fresh fruits are so expensive now in my part of the country that I am using dried fruits. That's a very good idea, to use dried fruits and canned fruit when fresh fruits are out of season. Considering the prune, I never could see why it has acquired such a plebeian reputation. Whenever a joke-smith wants to write a joke, he mentions prunes. That is, if he mentioned mothers-in-law the day before. Just to show you how highly I regard prunes, I wanted to include a delectable recipe for Prune Whip in the Christmas dinner menus. In fact, I suggested that very thing the Bureau of Home Economics. Prune Whip, said the Bureau, hesitatingly, for Christmas dinner. Yes, Aunt Sammy, we like Prune Whip, but some way it doesn't seem quite the thing for Christmas's dinner. I gave in to the Bureau and broadcast recipes for fruit cake and plum pudding, but all the time I was thinking how my prune whip would be. I'll give you the recipe in a few minutes. Let's talk about prunes in general first. Like other dried fruits, raisins, apricots, peaches, and so on, prunes are important sources of sugar and minerals, particularly iron. They have in fact enough sugar in them so that many people do not like any sugar added when prunes are cooked. The iron is one of the things that make prunes an especially good food for children. Prunes should be soaked overnight or for several hours in cold water and cooked in this same water in order to keep all the flavor and food value. Cook them in a covered dish or pan with just enough water to give the amount of juice wanted. It is important to use as little water as possible, so the juice won't be tasteless. Sugar may be added if desired, as I've already said, but is usually unnecessary. In any case, add the smallest quantity of sugar needed to give the desired flavor without masking or hiding the original fruit flavor. Lemon juice added after the prunes are taken from the stove gives them pep and a nice fresh flavor. Cooked prune pulp, mashed and flavored slightly with lemon and sugar, with or without chopped nut meats, is the basis of a number of good dishes. Did you ever use it as a tart or a cake filling? It's good sandwich filling too, alone or with chopped almonds, pecans, walnuts, or peanuts. It may be spread on sponge cake to make a jelly roll. No, that wouldn't be a jelly roll, but it would be an excellent prune roll. Prunes can be used in bread pudding too. When prunes are used in puddings, they should be soaked until the stones can be taken out easily. Then chop them, the prunes, I mean. Layers of breadcrumbs alternated with prunes with dots of butter and a sprinkling of sugar now and then make a good prune Betty. There's prune pie too. Prune pie requires for filling simply ordinary stewed prunes, stoned, flavored with lemon, and sweetened. This is good made as open-faced pie with a meringue or whipped cream on top. Prunes may be used with or instead of other dried fruits in almost any fruit cake or plum pudding recipe, and in such recipes as oatmeal cookies, hermits, spice cake, brown bread, nut bread, or steamed puddings. I think I told you how to make Parisian sweets with equal quantities of figs, dates, prunes, raisins, apricots, and nuts, or any combination of 2 or 3 of these. Put the fruits through a food chopper. Mix well and roil in a little powdered sugar or grated coconut. A small amount of honey improves the flavor of the confection. I could give you other prune recipes if I had the time. Perhaps you can give me some. Ready now for Prune Whip. 6 ingredients as follows. 1/2 pound prunes, 1 cup water, 1/2 cup sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 5 egg whites, 6 ingredients. What? There's a lady over in Baltimore who has only 5 ingredients. That will never them again. 1/2 pound prunes, 1 cup water, 1/2 cup sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 5 egg whites. Wash the prunes through several waters until thoroughly clean. Place in a bowl with the water to soak overnight. In the morning, cook the prunes in the water in which they have soaked for 15 minutes or until tender. Presses through a colander. Measure the pulp and juice. There should be 1 cupful. Place the pulp with the sugar over the heat and stir until the sugar is dissolved. Cool. Whip the whites of the eggs until very light. Add the salt and the prune pulp in small amounts until all of it has been mixed with the whites of eggs, whipping always in the same way. Pile the mixture lightly in a greased baking dish surrounded by water and place in the oven. Bake at a temperature from 250 to 275 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 to 60 minutes. When this is baked at this low temperature, for this length of time, the pudding should not fall after cooling. Serve with custard sauce made from the yolks of the eggs. Here we are again, all through with another Housekeepers chat. I shall have a menu for you tomorrow.
This broadcast was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.